this is part two. I ran out of time. Sorry, guys. So, when Belinda wakes up from the dream, so the little boy, she followed him out, and there's a bunch of sheets hanging by the clothespin. When she follows him, and she's able to follow him all the way through, and this boy has a terrified look on his face, and so she looks next to him, and there's this tall, dark figure standing next to the little boy. And so Belinda like gets scared and she falls back like this. And when she falls back, that's when she wakes up in real life. And when she woke up, she heard her little boy Sean screaming in his room. So her and Brian fly up out of bed and they run into Sean's room, and his arm is like he was like on the bed and his arm was like behind him. A, Something broke his arm. His arm was broke so bad that so they had to take him to the hospital. They took him to the hospital. He had to stay like a 3 days or something. And so Brian had to go back to work, unfortunately. So Belinda borrows her mom's car, and her and Blair get in and they go and pick up Sean from the hospital. And then when they even asked him like what happened, and Sean was like, the monster broke my arm. He came in my window and broke my arm. That's what the little boy told Belinda. And so they pick him up from the hospital. So it's them three coming back. Well, her mom's car breaks down, unfortunately, and a good Samaritan stops, and it's another person that lives in the same area as them. So the lady stops, pick him up. She's like, hey, do you need a ride? And she's like, yeah. And when she starts telling her where to go and where she lives, she's like, oh my gosh, like, we didn't know you lived here. Like, she's like, yeah, we just moved here not too long ago and blah, blah, blah. And the lady was like, well, do you know the history on your house? And she was like, well, yeah. Oh, some fire that killed a family. And she's like, no. A prior resident that lived there was apparently attacking children in the area and was like really mean to them. Like, we're hurting them, like breaking their arms and like, just doing weird stuff. So she told Belinda that instead of everybody calling the police, all the men in the area decided to take matters into their own hands, and they talked the guy into going hunting with them all. And when they all go out hunting, these men ambush this guy, and I don't know if they shoot him or what, but they put him in this van and they start the van on fire. But what's crazy is his body has never been found. So the van is still back there where Brian found, with the burnt mattress and all these kids' toys and weird things in them, but his body was never found. And that's what this lady said to her. Was like, yeah, so that's. And so when Belinda's like trying to put it all together, like, oh my gosh, I thought it was okay because I thought it was like, my dream of this little boy, and thinking a family died of four, so it's no harm, no foul, like just innocent kids, poor family, that's what she was thinking. And then when she hears this story, she's like, oh no, so as soon as she gets home, she picks up the phone and she calls Brian and she's like, listen, this is what happened. And Brian had even told her what he found in the back with the van. And so Belinda like told him, and all of it is just piecing together and just totally crazy story. And so she packed up and they moved into his mom's house, and they hadn't gone back to the home other than to go back and pick up little things, to pack up and take with them. But they never stayed in that home again ever after his arm broke, and they heard the story of the man that used to hurt kids. So what I want to know is, the body was never found. Is the man still alive? Or is this like just a haunting and the guy is very evil and powerful? And because, I believe in ghosts. I don't know about you guys, but I know it's like people do, people don't. But I feel like I watch enough or know enough that like evil spirits can get enough energy to hurt you. So yeah, that's the story. But pretty creepy, pretty crazy. If his body was never found and if he was still roaming around that property, like, could you imagine? Oh, breaking into your kid's room and breaking their arms, like, oh no, I would have, the guy, but that's just me. Anyways, that's the story. I'm sorry you had to follow for part 2, but I ran out of time. I try to sum it up in 10 minutes. Sometimes I, just keep talking. But, crazy story. So, everybody be safe. Have a good day. Be kind to everybody. And till next time.